So imagine starting your Monday waking up, you're looking at your sales calendar, you're seeing tons of consultations. But not only that, when you go to check those consultations and you're looking at their application form, it's clearly shown that these are people who really, really want to work with you. They believe in you, they believe in your approach. You go through those consultations throughout the week. You got high show up rates, you're enrolling clients, you feel aligned with these clients, and they're paying more upfront. Well, if that's something that you desire, then you're definitely going to want to watch this video. Peace family, Coach Tice here, and welcome to video number 3 of the 4-part series titled The Content to Sales Formula, where I break down from A to Z exactly how I help my clients attract quality pre-sold clients for their premium high-ticket offers and normalize 5-figure months inside of their coaching business, okay? And inside this video, what we're going to be going over is the simple strategy that you can leverage to build your audience and consistently book qualified appointments with people who know, like, and trust you. Now, let's jump right into it. Chances are you might have some gaps in your funnel right now. And if you're not bringing in enough from your funnel or your client acquisition strategy, which I'm going to use those two as synonymous, it's probably for a few reasons, right? Number one, you don't have an existing strategy. You're kind of just freestyling, free flowing. You're waiting to get clients on referral. You're waiting for them to just magically show up on your calendar, which is definitely the worst position to be, because we can't just depend on people that want to come to us with their credit cards ready to spend. Or maybe you've been in coaching before, you're familiar with funnels, but you're depending on a funnel structure that had maybe a single video or webinar that was supposed to turn cold prospects into sold prospects. And typically what happens there is that maybe you're spending money on ads, getting traffic to that specific funnel, and you're just dealing with a calendar filled with people who don't know you, like you, or trust you yet. And sales feels like you're in a boxing room every single day, just feeling depleted at the end of the day because people just don't know you enough or trust you enough to want to invest with you. Or maybe you actually did have funnels put in place that maybe were effective, but they got so complicated with the email automations, with the multiple pages of the funnels, and maybe you're not that technical, and you started realizing that you're spending more time trying to technically botch this funnel together than you are actually speaking to qualified clients. Well, what I'm going to do here with you guys is really share the new approach that involves really being able to attract the right type of clients without all of that inconvenience or exhaustion, right? Now, here's the thing. In the old approach, right, the old approach to acquiring quality clients is you had one silver bullet funnel, right, and you had a dependency on that funnel, maybe an email automations as well. You were taking calls with tons of unqualified prospects, and it was draining, it was expensive, and it was ineffective. Whereas in the new approach, we leverage what we call a content selling ecosystem. You qualify every single lead before consultations and calls, and you are attracting high quality, high paying clients. Okay, so let's break it down here. So with the content to sales formula, we're really using a targeted approach to get new traffic to your page. And then we leverage what we call conversion driven content and long form content to nurture your audience, to get them to raise their hand with you, where now you're able to qualify them, get them to book calls and enroll these qualified aligned clients. And so let's break it actually down. I have a visual here. And the first things first is traffic and what I call building your audience, right? Now, there's a couple of different ways that we can actually build your audience. Because here's the thing, if you don't have an audience to sell to, then ultimately your funnel will tap dry at some point if it's even performing. So the first things first is what I call ads, or what I call audience building ads. These are a low-cost ads approach where you can run ads with the visit profile conversion simply to gain new followers. So this is the way that you're going to be able to get more followers in your page to continue building your audience. Then we have content. This is where you're leveraging shareable, reach-driven content creation to drive traffic to your page, okay? And lastly, we have outreach. This is leveraging cold DM prospecting or warm DM prospecting to immediately start conversations with. Now, here's the thing to keep in mind, right? Your approach may vary. And I always say you can do all 3 of these things. You can do 2 of them. You can do 1 of them. And it really depends on what your leverage point is for building your audience. And I'm going to give you an example. One of my clients, she's the content creator. And so she knows how to make beautiful aesthetic content that can go semi-viral or to viral almost every single post. So when she started leveraging the content to sales formula, she's like, I'm not spending money on ads. I'm just going to do content. Right? That's how I'm going to get people to my page. And that's what worked for her. Whereas I may have another client that says, I'm okay with content, right? That's what I'm here with you for, Coach Tice, but I don't have the time to be really, really spending hours to create a video. So instead, I'm going to leverage my dollars and pay $300 to $500 a month to gain new followers to build my audience. And then lastly, we have outreach. Outreach, I wouldn't recommend unless number one, you are really, really sales driven and you don't care for a lot of rejection and you are 100% a sales driven thinker, or you have a service driven business. For example, maybe you are an agency or you offer operations services or something where you're doing the actual service for your client. And the reason being is because when you reach out to a client, you're reaching out with almost a sense of diminished perceived value. And if you're a coach, the last thing that you want to ever do is really diminish your value to a client. Now, I say that to say you still can use outreach if you're a coach. I still use outreach because I know how to have conversations with people in my DM. But for some coaches that want to maintain a little bit of a stronger brand and sort of a authenticity and authority, it's better to use ads and short form content. Whereas, again, if you're a service provider, you can offer something in the DM that now offers a lower barrier to entry for that prospect to gain trust with you. They can actually enter into your world of value. And then from there, you're building your authenticity and your authority with that prospect, right? So again, these are just the main focus of phase one of the approach, which is really just building your audience, right? And the goal is to get as many people into your audience via your main profile. This could be LinkedIn, this could be Instagram, which is a primary profile and platform for most of my clients, and even Facebook. Now, from there, our goal is to simply have conversations in the DM. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes those conversations happen immediately with a new follower, with somebody that's interested, somebody that's been seeing your content, they reach out to you. But for the most part, what we're actually doing is we're actually nurturing those clients and building a relationship with them before we expect them to have a conversation with that. And how do we do that? We do that through nurturing content and long form content, which we do typically through live streaming. And why do we do this? Because the more time that our clients spend with us, the more likely they are to build trust with us and be able to arrive at the decision themselves that we are exactly who they need to solve their problem. And this is what allows your audience to actually raise their hand, right? AKA take advantage of your call to actions to get into the DM, where now you can ask questions and have a conversation with them and qualify them into a book call, and of course enroll clients that are qualified and they know you, they have a familiarity with your process, they've probably already started implementing things. This is where we start to really attract those pre-sold clients. Okay, and so let's keep it going, right? How do we create this hand-raising content? Well, content is the most important part of nurturing your audience, to raise their hand and want to work with you and convert them into clients. However, most coaches get it wrong. They're either winging it, they're dancing around for the likes and engagement, they have misaligned content, they're not producing enough of it, or they're following trends and getting caught up in the content creator friend zone, right? So you're getting out a lot of information, right? But your information is not actually delivering transformation, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get you to the point where, you can confidently put out high level content that will be an asset to building trust and converting your audience. And so instead of doing all of that trendy stuff, what you want to do is develop a simple high converting content machine. And you do this by aligning your content with the buying psychology of your audience and your sales process. And so let's just break these down. I told you guys, I'm giving you a lot of the game right now. Inside of your sales process, there's a couple of different stages that somebody in your audience who is potentially a client for you goes through. And so I broke it down by a couple of different stages. First things first is brand awareness. And I'm going to break this down by the content. Brand awareness, or for simply brand aware content, is content that's simply building trust and affinity with you as a coach. So these are content that are more driven around your lifestyle and your value system. So this is content that really gets people to feel you here and build trust with you before they start to take your information and apply it here. So brand awareness content is very important. Now from there, we have what we call problem awareness content. Problem awareness content is where you're helping your audience better understand their problems. Now, why is problem awareness content so important? Because listen, guys, if you watch my videos, you know that what makes somebody a qualified prospect for you is not just because they have the money to pay, but they truly understand the depth of their problems and where it's coming from. So problem awareness content is where you're helping them understand that type of content. Then we have solution awareness content. Solution awareness content is where you're helping your audience better understand the type of solution that they need. Now, this is what you're doing when you're helping them open up perspectives and say, hey, I never really thought that I need to actually train and align my nutrition and think about sleep and recovery, as opposed to the way that I might have saw it before, which is I just need the 75 hard plan, right? So this is solution awareness content. This is where you're educating your audience who better just understand the type of solution that's going to work for them, okay? Now, you're probably thinking, well, is that my type of solution? We're getting there, coach. Next, we have product aware content. Product awareness content helps your audience get a feel for how solving their problems would look like if they were to solve it with you. So think testimonials, think walkthroughs of your different features or benefits of your program or your methodology, right? This is where they're actually able to see, okay, I know if I work with Coach Tice, we're really going to dial into the type of problems that my audience has and they're urgently aware of and looking to solve. Right? We know that that's what I'm going to do when I'm refining my offer with Coach Tice. And of course, we have identity and belief shifting content. This is content that helps your audience shift their worldview and even limiting beliefs and patterns, right, that are stopping them from seeing the right solution to solve their problems. So this is what creating content actually look like. It's not content pillars. It's saying, okay, look, I know that every single person inside of my audience is going to, need to build brand awareness with me. You need to go through the problem awareness phase, solution awareness phase, product awareness phase, and potentially have some beliefs or identity shifts that they need to have to become the perfect client for me, where I can help them solve their problem. So here's how it comes together. Once you are generating new traffic, the goal is to put out content that addresses each of these stages of your ideal client's buying journey. And this is how your content creates pre-sold prospective clients. And so to further break it down, I actually have a video that really breaks this down and gives you guys a little bit of examples that you can watch here. Again, if you don't have this asset of this document, make sure you DM me Content2Sales with the link in the description and my Instagram, and I'll send it right over to you. Or join the Content2Sales Collective free coaching group where I give away tons of resources like this and more coaching, guys. All right, so listen, we want to create that content machine and we want to make content creation simple and easy. So why is this content approach so effective? Because now we can effectively create content that consistently hits on all of these phases of awareness with our Instagram selling approach. And here's the thing, guys, what most coaches don't realize is that the higher the price of your offer, the more content your prospects need to consume to become pre-sold. And so I actually break this down. Typically based on your offer price and niche, the amount of content that needs to be consumed for a prospect to be pre-sold on your offer is somewhere between 3 to 7 hours. 3 to 7 hours, depending on if you sell B2C, B2B, if you sell wellness coaching, business coaching, consulting services, like whatever the case may be. Between 3 to 7 hours is typically where somebody gets to say, okay, I like you as a coach and your value system. I feel like I can trust you. But not only that, I feel like what you're teaching me is actually helping me think different and solve my problems, even just for free. And that makes me want to spend my money with you and see you as a coach to help, right? That's ultimately what we want to do. Putting out content is just allowing our audience to sell themselves, right? The same way when we sell, our selling approach is allowing our customer or prospect to sell themselves. But we're gonna get into that into the next video. But here's just an approach to think about it. Let's just say you have 7 hours is the amount of content that somebody needs to consume. Think about the different types of content, okay, that is gonna help them reach there. Now, a lot of people are big on short form content, shorts on YouTube, Instagram, Reels, Twitter, short form everything, which is great. I think short form content, again, it plays a big role, especially in the getting traffic to your platform phase of this process. However, if you look, it's going to take a lot of short form content to get somebody to get to 7 hours of content. What I specifically recommend is doing more long form content. Right? Why? Because long form content allows your client to spend more intimate time and develop more learning and shift their perspectives more effectively. As you can see, like while it might take you tens of pieces of content to get to 7 hours, if you were to do all short form, you might only have to do, 6, 8, maybe a couple of lives on your Instagram to get them to that approach. But when you put it together, this is how you're creating this content ecosystem where, hey, you're getting new traffic. You're either sparking conversations immediately, your prospective clients and audiences being nurtured from your short form content, as well as your long form content to the point where they're like, hey, can you help? Like, I want to learn more about what it is to work with you. And then from there, we book them to calls and roll them. Now, I just want to let you guys know, guys, like this is not just something that works for me. One of my clients here, she was new to high ticket coaching. She was a therapist. She hadn't ever sold the high ticket coaching offer. And when she wanted to launch a high ticket offer alongside a therapy practice, she was burnt out. And she launched with 100% profit, aka launched within just a few weeks. And all she was doing was live and content and having people reach out. Now you're probably saying, okay, Coach Tice, so people reach out. Well, what's next? Well, here's when we go into what I call appointment setting. Now, this part's fairly simple. This is how we turn the DMs you're getting from content into book calls. Now, as you can see, we want to be very methodical, right? And the goal is your content is doing its job. People are reaching out, they're responding to your call to actions, they're reaching out to you via DM. And from here, we want to really focus on quickly being able to qualify that prospect and move them over to a booked appointment. So here's exactly how we do it. The first thing that we do is inside of that DM conversation, we want to identify a problem. This is where we clarify what problems is our prospect dealing with. Now, why do we do this, guys? Because good salespeople are problem finders, not product pushers. And listen, the worst thing that you can do is get a prospect on a call with you and they don't even have the problem you can solve, right? So you want to be able to take the time to do that in the DM. So identify the problem that they have, qualify the prospect. So see if they're open to help, see if they're open to getting coaching, and then simply send them your calendar link. Now you're probably thinking, okay, Coach Tice, but what do I actually say inside of the DM? All good. Remember, if you guys get access to this document, I give you the exact scripts. So for example, I'm going to give you different questions and messages to identify a problem. Now, if you are doing outbound, remember, some people are going to be actually reaching out to prospects. If you have a more service-based business, you're just going to have one more step in it that involves what we call building a value gap. Because you're reaching out to a prospect, building a value gap is where you're sending value. You're doing something to make the prospect have a desire to want to get on a call with you first. But ultimately, in these questions, we have questions to identify a problem and questions to qualify the prospect. And then ultimately, that's what we're doing. Now, here's the thing, guys. We typically see our clients get new clients within the first 48 hours to 1 or 2 weeks using the content sales formula DM setting strategy. Now, here's the bonus. You're probably thinking, who has the time to be in my DMs all day? Well, here's the thing, guys. Your DMs are what $1 is at. But I understand you're a business owner. You have to leverage your time. Now, that's where you get yourself a virtual assistant. So ultimately, this is where you leverage a virtual assistant, or we call a sales development rep. And you can get these virtual assistants overseas from anywhere from $3.50 to $5 an hour to help you manage your DMs to get those calls booked. Now, you can use that. You can also use AI automation. Because we're not selling courses, this is really for high ticket products that require us to jump on a call first, typically leveraging an appointment setter or a virtual assistant, an SDR, which all can be used synonymously, is going to be the most effective way to handle those flood of DMs that come in. Now, here in Content to Sales, we actually staff you with a virtual assistant that's already trained on our CRM process, and we teach you how to manage them and train them. But ultimately, if you're saying, well, Coach Tice, how am I going to manage all these DMs? I would say get a virtual assistant. Now, if it's not in your budget, I would say that you want to make sure that you're effectively managing these conversations yourself, because this is how you're qualifying prospects before they jump on the calls. Okay. So guys, listen, I've tried tons of sales funnels. I've spent tens and tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads. I've built a coaching business to 6 figures, right? Multiple 6 figures before even putting all this together in my head. And I say that to say, I was at a point where I was frustrated. I was like, how do I get clients? And when I was getting a lot of calls and not a lot of lead flow, I'm like, well, how do I get the right clients? And it felt like it was just problem after problem after problem. But listen, ultimately what I learned is that being able to grow your coaching business in a way that feels aligned ultimately starts on the front end. It's by having a good offer, right? It's by having aligned messaging, but allowing your content to be your funnel in a way that attracts the type of clients that vibe with your energy, the type of clients that actually want to work with you and want to pay you your price. From there, your business just becomes so much better. And that's why I came up with this content to sales approach, because it's a way that allows you to build your voice. It's a way that allows you to have immediate conversations with your prospects in a way that doesn't involve complex, fancy funnels, complex automations that you have to change every time you switch something in your messaging and your offer, and allows you to simply use and leverage your time and your content to attract the right type of clients to you. Now, if you found this video valuable, feel free to like or subscribe. And again, if you want the actual content sales formula document that has the description here, has the additional assets, again, just click the link below in the description, DM me Content to Sales, or click the link below that and join the Content to Sales Collective free coaching group. Now, here's the thing, guys. What happens after you book these calls? Well, now you got to actually enroll your client, right? You got to actually make a sale to your client. And inside the next video, what we're going to be going over is exactly how to approach selling your offer in a way that is not manipulative, not pushy, not draining, and allows your prospects to sell themselves and create so much more of a lighthearted approach to the way that you sell into your coaching business. So I appreciate you guys. Again, my name is Coach Tice. I'm the founder of Content to Sales, where we help you align your messaging, your content, and your sales to attract more quality aligned clients and normalize 5 figures a month inside of your coaching business. So fam, we'll talk soon. Make sure you don't just watch this content, but you go get the download and you do the work. That's all I want you to do. All right. Peace, fam.